Ukrainian drone attacks on Russian hydroelectric power plants, HPP, have caused an 18–20% reduction in the processing of petroleum products, according to the main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine. Andriy Yusov, a representative of Ukrainian intelligence, described these figures as increasingly large and called the number of successfully attacked targets within Russia a key indicator of Ukraine's strategic impact. Yusov explained that Russian efforts to protect critical infrastructure involve combining outdated Soviet-era air defense systems, PPO, with modern technology. Despite the deployment of these protective systems in all major Russian cities, Ukraine continues to conduct nearly daily, devastating strategic strikes targeting important objects within the Russian Defense Industrial Complex, OPK. These strikes represent a sustained and growing pressure on Russian military and industrial capabilities. An anomalous warming period has arrived in Ukraine, expected to last slightly over a week. At the beginning of November, temperatures could reach up to plus 19 degrees Celsius, according to Weather Service Synoptic. The accompanying photo shows Kirill's nuclear power plant, located in the Leningrad region of the Russian Federation, as referenced by the Russian General Headquarters. This notable warming contrasts with the usual colder seasonal expectations for early November in the region. In the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, as of the 31st of October 2025, there have been over 20 drone flights reported today as part of ongoing Russian attacks targeting military and civilian infrastructure. These drone operations form part of a series of massive coordinated assaults, including hundreds of unmanned aerial vehicles and missiles used by Russian forces across Ukraine. Airports, energy facilities, residential buildings, and enterprises have sustained damage. Recent reports describe drone and missile barrages striking cities like Dnipro and Sinelnikov districts within the oblast, with infrastructure, private houses, and enterprises affected. Ukrainian air defenses have intercepted many of the aerial threats, but some hit their targets, causing casualties and fires. The continued UAV activity illustrates sustained Russian efforts to degrade Ukraine's defense capabilities and civilian infrastructure, intensifying the humanitarian toll. The Russian Federation, RF, forces conducted an attack on Kramatorsk, resulting in the death of a peaceful resident, as reported by Donbas Realii correspondent Sergei Gorbatenko. The attack caused destruction to private structures, including private boxes, likely storage or small buildings. Eyewitnesses suggest that the Russian army likely used a drone in carrying out this strike. This underscores the continuing risks to civilians from drone assaults in the conflict zone. The conflict between Russian and Ukrainian forces remains highly intense and complex, with significant challenges faced by both sides. While Russian forces have conducted sustained offensives and strategic strikes, Ukrainian troops continue to resist and defend key territories with determination, supported by international assistance. Despite heavy Russian military capabilities, Ukraine has demonstrated resilience through defensive operations, guerrilla tactics, and counterattacks. The outcome remains uncertain, influenced by evolving military, political, and diplomatic factors. It is important to acknowledge the human cost and ongoing humanitarian impact on civilians caught in the conflict, regardless of the military situation. The situation is fluid, and any assessment of chances must consider the dynamic and multifaceted nature of the war. A video showed the moment a Russian Jiran UAV reached the city of Sumy, striking a gas station. Further details about casualties or damage caused by the attack have not yet been released. The incident illustrates the ongoing use of kamikaze drones by Russian forces targeting critical infrastructure within Ukraine. An enemy unit attempted to move by car but was targeted by FPV drones, which hit the vehicle's windshield twice. Within a minute after the drone strikes, the enemy personnel were neutralized. This highlights the increasing effectiveness of drone warfare in rapidly targeting and disabling enemy movements on the battlefield. Units of the Russian Center Forces are reportedly engaged in operations to destroy scattered Ukrainian armed forces units in the vicinity of Krasnoarmysk. This indicates ongoing Russian military efforts aimed at isolating and neutralizing dispersed Ukrainian troops in this direction, contributing to pressure and territorial control attempts in the area. The Russian Aerospace Forces, VS Rossiya, delivered a direct strike using 4 UMPK-PD bombs with FAB-500 on a concentration of Ukrainian Armed Forces VSUU personnel from the 14th Separate Mechanized Brigade, OMBR, in the settlement of Kucherovka. These Ukrainian forces were regrouping to launch a counterattack in the Kupiansk direction, where there is currently an encirclement tightening the ring around Kupiansk. This strike aims to disrupt Ukrainian offensive preparations and contain their movements in this strategic area.